Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my fucking DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? What's up? Came to you a little bit later on in the evening. Well, it's only 8 something for me. I know for some of y'all it's a little bit later. So thank you for staying up. Let me say what's up to the people before we start, of course. What's up, Ray? How you doing? What's up, Shannon? Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Thank you for being here, Shannon. What's up, Nubian? How you doing? What's up, Andrea? What's up, Jackie? What's up, Just Anticipate? What's up, Claudette, DH? Maria, thank you for being here. What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. This is going to be another political show. We haven't done one in a minute, so I wanted to bring you something new, something fresh. What's up, Miss Curiosity? So I figured not a lot is going to go on because Kamala is announcing the VP pick tomorrow, but I do want to talk about that. But I'm going to make a few different announcements right now because I'm surprised not a lot of Black people have been talking about this. This is the first anniversary of the Montgomery Riverfront Brawl, and I have not seen anybody really talk about this today. Have y'all seen anybody talking about this? Like, this is a great moment in Black history, you know. There's another picture. And I did post something on my Facebook as well too about this. Yes, but the Montgomery Brawl was, last year where there was a guy working there. The white patrons were upset, mad, got angry or whatnot. All of a sudden, you see one of the dudes start trying to fight him. He throws up his hat, tossing in the air, and then that's when it was on like a pot of neck bones, I'm telling you. But here's the thing. All the white people try to jump him. And so then that's when you see the Black people, they were like docking in, right? You see some of them like actually jumping in the water and swimming to him to try to help him. And then the infamous chair. I don't remember who the guy named that picked up the chair, but he picked up that chair and started swinging on every man, woman, child. Listen, that and the reason fade in the water, yes, Lady J. The reason why I'm not posting pictures is because remember last year they were like demonetizing people videos and stuff like that for like posting the video, so I can't do it. But y'all know, what it is, right? Yeah. It seemed like it happened a long time ago. No, it was just last year all of that went down. Lift every chair and swing. Let me tell you. The folding chairs, the stock all went up. Yeah, it was sold out, Ronnie. Right. The way he cracked everybody over the head with that chair, man, it was definitely a proud moment. Like, everybody was applauding. Like, I feel like that moment brought the country together. Like, it really did. Like, no matter who you were, everybody was in agreement because he was getting jumped. And they thought it was okay to jump him. And so, like, nah, that ain't going down. That really showed a sense of unity. And it gave me great pride in our country, And especially as us as Black people like to see, okay, we look out for one another when it's time to look out for one another. If we are not our ancestors as a moment, yeah. I mean, definitely. Listen, I think those people will never try to pull that off again, right? Something else that I wanted to bring up too as well. Tim Scott. Tim Scott, the senator of South Carolina, got married to Lindsey Graham. They finally are happy together. They're out about their relationship. Okay, I'm just kidding. So this picture is AI, is doctored. So they put Lindsey Graham's face on his actual wife, but he got married this weekend. Um, how do I feel about this? Well, remember, we didn't even know about this woman until he ran for president, right? Because that was one of the things. They're all like, oh, he's not, he's not married. And then they started talking about his sexuality and stuff like that. So he all of a sudden had this girlfriend, right? And it's all like, where did she come from? Like, all of a sudden you got a girlfriend when you and Lindsey Graham has been butt buddies for years now, allegedly, but been butt buddies for years. All of a sudden you just pop out with a girlfriend? Like, where'd that come from, And mind you, he ran for president before, so you would think that he would have popped out with this girlfriend before. But I mean, I honestly feel like the why he committed is because he thought, okay, I didn't get VP. He was hoping to get VP. He didn't get VP. But I'm thinking that he's hoping that he gets in Trump's administration if he wins. So that's what he's hoping for, y'all. He's hoping to get in that Trump administration. So he had to actually marry a woman. And then don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see them with kids. I don't know how old the lady is. But, I don't know if she can still bear children, but that's her business, right? Women's rights, right? But anyway, yeah, y'all, that marriage is a sham. Don't be surprised if you see something in the news soon about this lady got an annulment because she lied, or she caught Lindsey Graham running out the back door in the house. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. But I mean, he looks happy. Congratulations, I guess. Do we care? Not really, right? All right, moving on from Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. Jimmy Carter. So Jimmy Carter is still alive. Remember, I feel like he's been on hospice for like a couple of years now, but he's still on hospice and he's still around. So he said, I'm only trying to make it to vote for Kamala Harris. So he seemed like he's going to try to make it until November. Go on with your bad self. Jimmy Carter, very shocking that, I hate to say it's shocking that he's still alive, but I mean, it is, because I feel like, okay, when we heard he was on hospice and it was looking bad and he's, in his final moments and stuff like that, I thought he would have been kicked the bucket, but he's still alive. That is amazing. They say like when you live past certain years, you're living in God's will. Definitely living in God's will. Yeah, he definitely is. And shout out to Jimmy Carter. Like, I don't know if there's going to be another president out there who be building houses and stuff like that for the people. I think that's really dope that he does that. Like, after his presidency, he did a lot of charity work. Mind you, he was only a one-term president, so he was kind of seen as like a failure in a way. So for him to kind of turn it around and him being this kind of this figure that we look at as far as humanitarian work and stuff like that, it's awesome to see. So shout out to Jimmy Carter. Hopefully you make it, because we definitely need your vote in in November for Georgia. I definitely think that Georgia could possibly stay blue. I definitely think it can. Yes, the longest living president right now. Yep. Mike Pence is not endorsing Trump, but he hasn't endorsed Kamala either. Well, he was just the VP though. Yeah, Karen. Yep, that's definitely fair. All right. So moving on from that. So I wanted to talk about the controversy with the VP picks. So you have Tim Walsh, who is from Minnesota, and then you have Josh Shapiro from PA, Pennsylvania. Now, these two states, now they say it's down to these two. So I guess Mark Kelly from Arizona, he's out the window. So now we're looking at these two. Mind you, they have an event tomorrow in PA, in Pennsylvania. So more than likely, it's looking like Josh Shapiro will be the VP. There's a few things about Josh Shapiro that, is going to give more progressives kind of, make them think differently. A couple of things before I get to even Gaza and Israel. School vouchers. So I never understood what the whole controversy was with school vouchers until a couple of months ago, because I really didn't get it. I was like, oh, well, if people want a voucher, that's cool. Like if they want a voucher so to send their children to, some kind of private school or something like that, they should be able to. All right, well, here's a few issues with school vouchers for those of you who don't know. One thing, the school vouchers is taking money away from the public schools. There's actually only one state that doesn't take money away from public schools for school vouchers. So that's a big thing. The schools already don't have enough funding. These teachers need to get paid. Definitely the teachers need raises. Like, let's not even play with that. The teachers been needed raises since I was in school. And that was a thing they would talk about all the time. Teachers would always go on strike. Definitely elementary. They would always go on strike and stuff like that. And they still do it. They're still not getting fair wages. So definitely that's one thing. The school conditions. I mean, have y'all ever been in a school and the textbooks are literally falling apart and like they got the tape on the back of the book? I know some of y'all remember that because I did go to school in Oakland originally when I was in elementary, and I remember some of the books would have tapes on the back of them. Some rooms don't even have enough chairs for the students. Y'all literally bunched up in there. So I remember one time we had like 30-something people in one class. Or you got some of those classes that are mixed with fourth graders, fifth graders, or second graders, third graders. Yeah, all that. Exactly. There's no more textbooks in. Oh, there's no more textbooks in school. Oh, they got rid of the text. Oh, see, I didn't even see how long it's been. Yeah, and the kids are bad. Yeah, have to deal with all that. They gave iPads without charge. You had to get your own. Damn. What's up, Mel? Thank you for being here. I remember there was a time where our library barely had any books. You know how most schools have a library there? It barely had any books. Like, I don't know if people weren't returning the books, but definitely all the books look handy down. So there's a lot with that. Also, when it comes to vouchers, sometimes vouchers don't cover the whole thing for schools. It is just partial. And if you can't afford the second part or however much you need to pay, then you're basically SOL. So that's another thing. And then sometimes these vouchers are going to families, aka the white kids, who have the money sometimes or the funding to do it. Yes, funding for special education also gets hurt too as well. That's what I thought so too, DH, when everybody also like, well, my nieces and nephews, they necessarily don't have textbooks, but they still get, different kind of books and stuff. Like, it's a mixture of both. Yeah, thank you, DH. I was like, am I crazy? Was I at an impoverished school? I don't know how to answer that, Couture. Was that a real question, or I was in inner city, so I guess yeah, you would consider it an impoverished school. Just like if the school, like it's a lot of different kind of requirements. Like that's why it's important for all the kids to go to school, because if they don't go to school, the school doesn't get the proper funding, as well as oh damn. Okay, I know that they don't go to school. It's something else that I'm forgetting. There's another point. Okay, but moving on from that, I wanted to get to the Israel and Palestine issue with Ben Shapiro. Not only because he's Jewish, but because it's going to be looked at as, okay, you got this guy here, and he condemned the protesters, which, yes, you can do that, but you can't disrespect these people, call them like supporting terrorists and all that other shit. You can't do that. You can definitely say, hey, y'all messing up the streets, doing all this, that's crazy. Like, why are you guys doing that? But unfortunately, because of who he is, even though he said he doesn't like that Benjamin Netanyahu, that the prime minister over there, they're still going to hold that against him. It's unfortunate, but that's something that people are going to look at, and they don't feel like he's so progressive and that he's going to be the one to really stand up. He's just kind of going to fall in line because he's more of a moderate. Now, here's the thing. Honestly, all of them kind of all fall in line. None of them are quote unquote different, because you would even have that issue with Tim Walz, who is the governor of Minnesota. So Josh is on the left, and then Tim Walz is on the right. Just to let you guys know, if you didn't know who is who. We here to educate and elevate. Now they both do have history in government. They're not new to this. Josh Shapiro was a congressman, the AG attorney general. That's why him and Kamala get along. And he's the current governor. I think one thing that people don't talk about with Shapiro is that he actually went after the Catholic churches. Now, shout out to all the Catholics out there. Shout out to all the Catholics. But he went after the Catholic churches for, use your imagination. I'm trying to keep this video monetized, but yeah. And rightfully so, to go after those. Because it was a whole scheme that they were doing in PA. Oh, also, okay. I definitely said Georgia too, because, well, I was saying Raphael Warnock. Let me go ahead and take both of them down. I was saying Raphael Warnock, but here's the thing: if they lose if they lose a senator, right? Then Brian Kemp, who's the governor, he can put a Republican there. So that wouldn't work. So yeah, that wouldn't work out. So that's why I was all like, okay, the two senators in Georgia, they got to stay there. Oh, I took the word, yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much without going into detail, but y'all can imagine what it was for, right? Yeah. That's why he went after them. One positive about Minnesota, dude, they are one of the few states that really help women's kids a lot. They balance their funding well. Yes, and also he's for, a leave and really progressive programs as far as, when it comes to really protecting his people. So yes, you are right about that. You got to my next point, Melanin Queen. Yeah. Now, I was thinking it was going to be the Mark Kelly guy because he's a senator. I think I see like a senator being more powerful than a governor because technically I never knew who these two were until now. I ain't gonna lie. I never knew these two until it was really being talked about them being, selected for VP or they were on the list. I knew about Mark Kelly because Arizona was once red and he was a Democrat who won for a Senate race, right? I knew who he was, but as far as these two, it's kind of like never really heard about them too much, and I feel that you don't need somebody who can outshine Kamala, but you do need somebody who can complement her. I would like to see how they do debating J.D. Vance. And let's be honest, J.D. Vance, he's only been a senator for like a year and a half. So with him, basically Kamala couldn't go wrong with anybody that she picks. But it is going to be looked at by those progressives who are really extreme, like, oh no, we need somebody. Listen, they want Bernie Sanders. If y'all don't let that go, can we have a conversation about Bernie Sanders? By the way, they did have a progressive call today, and Bernie Sanders was hosting it on his channel. You know how they've been doing Kamala for black women, white dudes for Kamala, white women, black dudes for Kamala. So now the progressives is, that's basically Bernie Sanders is their god. They want him to be the VP. We got to let that ship go. Miss Curiosity, we got to let it go. We really have to let that go. I think everybody thinking like, oh yeah, this is going to be like 2016. He should have been the president and all this other stuff. I think even if Bernie was the guy to go against Trump in 2016, I feel like things would have turned out the same way. I don't think that it would have changed. I think Trump probably would have ended up winning. It's kind of like the luck of I don't want to say the luck of the draw, but he would end up winning anyway. But I feel like that fever dream that we have about Bernie Sanders being anywhere near a president or, anything like that, we got to let that go. And how old is Bernie, by the way? Bernie is up there. Like, didn't we already get rid of the old guy, a.k.a. Joe Biden? Bernie need to go ahead and sit down somewhere. How old? 80? Oh, Lord. Y'all, get out of here with that Bernie Sanders shit. He 82. We already kicked the old guy to the curb. We ain't gonna pick another old guy. Come on now. Y'all, we can't do it. Yeah, we gotta let that go. 82 is y'all. That ship has sailed. Chantal, that's the other thing. So he canvasses with the Democrats, but he only changes from an independent to a Democrat when he wants to run for president. That's the only time he changes to a Democrat. So yeah, he teeters on that line. Now, I feel like as far as like a senator or a senator or a congressman being up in age, that's one thing. Do I agree with that? No, I don't agree. You said graduating with Jesus. I don't necessarily agree with that either, but I feel safer with an older person being in Congress and government than being the president. You can't be out there being that old. I finally came to the conclusion, that it was right for Joe Biden to drop out. He should have dropped out earlier. That's my only issue. He should have dropped out way before the debate and everything else. But it was the right decision for him to drop out. It was definitely the right decision. But yeah, we don't need nobody that old running for president. Just no. Not at all. What's up, Darion? How you doing? Yeah, that's the other thing. They would use that he's too extreme. They would use that excuse. So that's a no-go. Yeah. Leave Bernie alone. But like I said, tomorrow, we'll see what happens. But now I always bring up the Gaza and Israel issue. A lot of y'all be like, well, that's over there. I don't care. I don't give a damn. I promise you, when those hundred and those hundred, it was 100 over 100K voters did uncommitted in Michigan. I promise you, those people will say F it and just go with Trump. And not go with him, but say, I'm not going to vote. So please, 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 you guys. I know some people are all like, I don't care. Why should I care about them? That's literally the modern day South Africa. Remember South Africa went through apartheid? Yeah. Parallels. A lot of people care about it. Do not look at it and be all like, oh, yeah, we don't get it, whatever. No. Look at that. And then for the people who say, I'm going to hold off my vote because I care about Gaza and Palestine, be careful with that. And the reason why, because if Trump gets in, Trump said, oh, I would have them obliterate Palestine. He literally said they would be done with if I was president. But mind you, they've been fighting since 1948, Israel and Palestine. Like, it's not a new thing. I just want to let you guys know, like, the wars between them, they do ceasefires, go back to fighting, ceasefires, go back to fighting. It's a forever issue. And the reason why the U.S. is always going to back Israel and Palestine is because that's the only hold that the Western, not just America, but the Western world, as far as Europe, all that, that's the only stronghold that they have in the Middle East. So no matter if this Benjamin Netanyahu guy is evil and all this other stuff, they don't care. They do not, they honestly don't care. But they want to make sure, we look good in the eyes of the world, like, oh, we care about the world, but they're going to back Israel no matter what. And now what you guys are seeing, they did a strike in Lebanon. Remember? Just recently, they killed one of the top guys. So now what's going to happen is that they're trying to retaliate against. And who has to help them? We do. Well, honestly, it's all of, it's a whole bunch of countries, but we're mostly the ones. Right, Ricky. That is true. Yeah, we're the life. Yeah. So, yeah, no matter how bad it gets, yeah, NATO, exactly. No matter how bad it gets, we're always going to back them up. Now, should we? No. But it's always going to be that. That's our stronghold that we have. That's the only ally that we really have. And no, it is the only, not that we really have. It is the only one. What's up, Love Logic? That's the only one. Other than that, we would lose everything. But like I said, pay close attention because that will be one of the big determining factors on whether or not Kamala gets in office or not. The other option is not great either, but that's going to be one of the big ones. I promise you that. All right. So we done talked about the potential VPs and stuff like that. I don't think either one of them, it's going to be tough either way. It's definitely going to be a hard sell. Okay. So I wanted to talk about Georgia again. I know we talked about Jimmy Carter. He said he wanted to live on to end up voting, but I wanted to talk about Georgia again. Because again, they got this Michaela Montgomery. So for those of you who don't know who she is, and I should have got the other picture, I apologize. Remember when Trump went to Chick-fil-A and like this girl came hugging her and was like, oh my God, Trump, oh my God, and was like all fanning out for Trump? Remember that? This girl, that was off stage, y'all. This girl works for Blexit. She works for Blexit. That's the whole, Candace Owens and all of them were behind for, whatchamacallit, for, black people lead the Democratic Party, all that stuff, right? That's where she's from. So that whole scene, that was a big photo op. That was planned. Now, am I saying the Democrats don't plan anything? No, but this one was obviously was obvious because they knew who she was. But of course, they played it off like she was just some random fan. Oh, Kieran, I'm happy that you brought that up. I'm happy that you brought that up. Okay, so a lot of people are going that Kamala was pandering to black people because she had Megan Thee Stallion up there, whatever, right? Okay, but here's my thing. Both parties pander. So does it matter like if you feel like they're pandering for a black vote or not? Like, does it matter? So you would not consider this pandering. Oh, she kissed me on my cheek. Oh, I almost left with her. That's what the man said. That's what the man said. Yes, please check your voter registration too. That's important. Thank you, gracious divine. Let me tell you why it mattered the way that Kamala panders. It was detrimental to black women. No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Because are we going to say Amber Rose was a better figure than Megan Thee Stallion? Like, because literally, if we're going to go tit for tat, so we're saying that Amber Rose is like the epitome of what a conservative woman should be. Amber Rose. Are we going to do that compared to Megan Thee Stallion? Are we going? Are we going to make that comparison? Because we got to go for comparison to comparison. And it's so funny because, most conservatives, I don't think they even know who Amber Rose really is. I don't think they really know. Like, do they actually know who Amber Rose is? Like, because, it's funny because this was the whole woman of the that was leading the slut walk. And now she's all like, oh, I'm not for that anymore, or anything like that. Like, come on now. How you just switch up and change? Now, again, I don't know anything about the crypto scam because they said that was like one of the reasons why Amber's trying to buddy up with Trump. No, I don't know if that's true or not, but it is what it is. And I feel like also, too, when it comes to Megan Thee Stallion performing, you know what you get. Just like if Kid Rock performs at, for Trump, you know what you get. I don't think anybody's like, oh my God, like I didn't know Megan was. And honestly, to tell you the truth, like she showed her stomach or whatever, but it wasn't, how Megan really get down. And again, Kamala wasn't up there twerking or anything like that. So it is what it is. But like someone explained it, like underneath the Democratic Party, underneath it's not a monolith. Just like black people, we aren't a monolith. And I appreciate everybody's opinion. I just want to let you guys know. I appreciate everybody's opinion, but we're not a monolith. So the party is very diverse. So what's going to happen is that you're always going to see difference in the party. This is why, there's progressives and there's Democrats, there's moderates and all this other stuff mixed in between. And I'm honestly surprised how many people have got behind Kamala. And the reason why is because Democrats don't look at being a Democrat as a religion like Republicans. Republicans look at being a Republican as a religion. They go like, I'm a Christian first, I'm a Republican, and then I'm an American. That's what they... Shut up, don't disagree. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They fall in line. Trump can call your wife ugly. Like, what's his name? Talked about whatchamacallit, Nikki Haley being an Indian, and they all sucking up to him and kissing his ass. Really? That's crazy. That's wild to me. That is wild to me. Like, you gotta have some kind of pride for yourself. I bet you anything Trump didn't issue an apology to Ted Cruz or his wife. He was all like, I ain't apologizing. I bet you anything. And they're like, oh, I just love him. And they got that party loyalty. Democrats do not have that same loyalty. Because if Democrats had that same loyalty, Hillary would have won. Hillary would have won if they had that same loyalty. Let's be honest about that. No, Democrats will eat their own. They will definitely eat their own. That's why I was all like, I'm so surprised how fast everybody got on the Kamala Harris trend. I literally thought people would be still fighting about it and everything like that. No, they got on it quickly. And like I said, I was all for it because I'm all like, yeah, it's way too late to be trying to find somebody else. Yeah. And then also, too, you got to look at, say if they let the process go out where they try to do a debate and stuff like that, they would end up slandering each other. And then you have to go out there and, nah. AOC hating self exposed them. Right. When you said self-hating self. Oh, man. Let me see. Ricky said, where in the heck were you when I was single? That's why that's my favorite book. I live by it. What book? Yes, reputation is everything. It's literally one of the 48 laws of power. Oh, okay. I've actually never read it, but I've heard about it though. They expose themselves in many ways. Hillary wasn't going to win because she was trying to lead the country when Bill was in office. She wasn't acting like the first lady. So you think that a woman should sit down and stay in the kitchen? Is that what you're saying, Angela? Oh, and also shout out to everybody in Florida. I hope y'all are okay. I know the hurricane and everything like that. I forgot to say something earlier about that. I should have definitely said something in the earlier shows, but definitely shout out to everybody in Florida. Hopefully y'all okay. Oh, I didn't even get to this curiosity. You was reading my mind. I was going to bring that up. Because if they had loyalty, they wouldn't have slandered. You guys are having a hurricane party at my house later tonight. Well, I hope you safe, Ricky. But anyway, the way they got rid of Joe Biden, that poor old man. Now, he needed to drop out. But the way they got rid of him, just like he was nothing. They kicked him to the curb. And like, as soon as that debate over, there's like, especially that damn Van Jones always crying. I was like, oh my God. And he cried when Biden dropped out too, but it's all like, isn't this what you wanted? But anyway, so the way after that debate, they just totally slandered Joe Biden. Like, yeah, he old. Yeah, he can barely put two sentences together. But I already knew he was old. Like, that's not, him being old. Let me say this. I didn't picture Joe making it all 8 years. Can we do a poll real quick? Hold on. Let's do a poll. Did we expect Joe Biden to make it all 8 years? Yes or no? Yeah. So if I'm going to be honest, I always thought that Kamala would be in there at some point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Logic. I asked, did we think Joe Biden was honestly gonna make it the whole 8 years? None of us thought it. No. No, did I think he was gonna be deceased? No, that's not what I'm saying either. I just want to be clear. Let's be clear. But we didn't think he was gonna make it all 8 years. No, I definitely don't think that. He was probably gonna, take a bow soon. But I didn't think that he was gonna make it all 8 years. He definitely, was gonna have to take a break at some point. Like, yeah. So, like I said, I knew what I was getting into when I made the vote. It was all like, okay, well, more than likely Kamala is going to take his place at some point. Now, did we think it was going to be like this necessarily? No, we didn't know, but we, if you put two and two together. Oh, Ariel, you said, yeah, you thought he was going to make it? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, maybe you seen something I didn't see. I honestly didn't think he would make it all 8 years. You know, maybe seven, but not eight. I think that's going too far. Okay, so I'm gonna play a commercial before we go to the next topic. I just want to make sure you guys go ahead and take a moment to hit that like button because I don't even know how many likes we got, but definitely need to get it up.
Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my fucking DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.
Now it's funny because she really did she really did show it on her screen and it said something like friend something something. I wish she would have read it. Now that would have been funny if she read it. I was hoping that she would read what it actually said, but I think it's one of those the automated generated messages that like the reply back. That's what I think it is. Okay. So before we move on to the black issue, I gotta say it like that because we kind of teased it a little bit. But before we move on to the black issue, I wanted to talk about the debate. I think Kamala is smart by not debating him. I mean, hold on. Let me clarify that. By not going by his rules and changing it to Fox. I think she's right at doing that. You can say, oh, well, Biden dropped out and all this other stuff. That doesn't matter. It should stick to ABC where it originally was and keep it as is. Because he's already said in the president's that, okay, well, ABC is fake news and all this stuff, so we're going to go over to Fox. Mind you, didn't he or Truth Social, whatever his website is called, he said we're going to have to do it without Fox now because they're a part of something like he was mad at Fox, so that's weird all in itself. But anyway, he wants to now do it on Fox, all that. No. Kamala should definitely take that moment, do a town hall, open it up for people to ask her questions and stuff like that, and just do that rather than a debate. I definitely think that Kamala would eat Trump alive in a debate. I feel, and maybe because I'm a little biased, I feel that Trump should have always debated somebody black. And I know y'all say, oh, well, they had a presidential debate. Tim Scott was up. Tim Scott ain't really, he black like this, not black like this. Kamala, she black like this and black like this. we gonna get to the race thing. Don't even worry. But I feel like he needs to debate somebody with some flavor because Trump does have a cadence about himself. He knows how to work a room and he knows how to get certain things over. He knows how to stay on topic. Border, immigrants, black jobs. He knows the things to say to get the people going. He's very smart in that. He knows the key word. Like Democrats, whoever their PR person is horrible. I mean, finally they're getting onto something with Project 25, 2025. Finally, that's kind of like, a little bit of messaging, but Democrats are horrible for messaging. Literally. Now, y'all can say, oh, well, the Republicans don't say anything with substance. They just say random. Yeah, but build a wall, immigrants, immigrants. That's sellable. That's sexy to some people. Is Ricky still in here? That build a wall, immigrants. That's sexy to him. I'm telling you, Ricky is turned on right now by me saying immigrants, build a wall. As long as they keep saying that and you don't pay attention to anything else, oh, they got it. That's their messaging. It doesn't need to be anything else. Just keep repeating that. They literally on repeat. And then he got the Sleepy Joe. And have y'all noticed that Joe Biden seems like he got some pep in his step now? Like, I felt like he was faking me. He was like, I'm tired of doing this shit. Let me just sit my ass down. But it seems like he got some pep in his step all of a sudden, right? When it comes to Democrats, literally the messaging is like, okay, well, we're going to pull up these statistics and show this and that. That's not sellable. Because why do I have to look up what your messaging is? I should be able to say something like, build a wall, immigrants. I guess the other thing besides Project 25 is women's rights. That's the other messaging that the Democrats have. Women's rights. That's the other part. I want to see Kamala clap back at Ukraine and make them come up off. I don't, and I partially agree with you. I don't like them sending money over to other countries. That includes Israel. That includes Ukraine. But here's the thing. I think people don't know this. Our defense bill, the money that we send over and stuff like that, we only spend about 1% of the defense fund. I know it's like millions and billions, but it's only 1% that they actually spend. What are they doing with all the other 99% for defense fund and stuff like that? What are they doing with that money? Now, someone needs to expose that, because that money can help a lot of people. But again, going back to what I was initially saying, I think Kamala is smart for not budging, not saying like, okay, we're going to do a debate. Now, they did say, okay, if we do this debate, we can do another debate. But keep it on where the UFO, probably Stephanie, I wouldn't be surprised. She's smart for saying we're going to keep the date, and if we want to do more, we can do more debates. But don't give in. That's another thing. Republicans have strong will. Republicans don't budge. When they say they're going to do something, they're going to get it done. Democrats, they're going to be like, well, we need to be bipartisan and figure it out. Oh, my God. If y'all don't get y'all weak asses out of here with that, getting on my damn nerves. Oh, we got to be bipartisan. Like, no, stick with what you said. Don't change it. Turn it into a town hall. Let people ask questions. Because, and I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I guess let's go ahead and lead into it. Because it seems like people's biggest gripe with Kamala Harris is whether or not she is black. I feel like that's the biggest thing. One of the things that I worry about is if everything that Joe Biden is doing, that's going to be like her same spiel. Like, as far as, okay, well, I'm just going to do everything that he did and that's it. No, that will not work. I think there's great things that Joe Biden has done as far as student loan debt, trying to, get issues resolved as far as inflation, because these companies are basically price gouging us. That's one of the major things. There's inflation, but also they're all like, oh, well, since everything's going up, we're going to hike up the prices. That's one thing that definitely needs to be better than that, better than what it is. But at least the issue is being addressed. I think also, too, when it comes to whatchamacallit. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Infrastructure. Infrastructure is a big thing. Internet. A lot of people don't have internet. Y'all remember Hood Life Chronicles? Shout out to Hood Life Chronicles. Whenever she get online, her internet is horrible. That's because of where she lives. They don't have good infrastructure for internet. Infrastructure literally affects everywhere. I don't think they really sell that too. Again, the messaging. They don't really sell that. They don't, because people don't understand how they're able to get money and funding and stuff like that. Just like in Texas, for example, a part of that infrastructure is also helping them get, a train from Houston to Dallas. That's a part of it as well, too. But if people have to look up this stuff because you don't have a great message like border wall, immigrants, Christian. Oh, I forgot about that one because they're right at this one. Republican got Christian. If you don't have that, like a talking point that really gets people, they don't care. Yes, that's true too, conservative destroyer. Shout out to you. I think you're new. I've never seen you before. Angela was never Biden's agenda. That man, Duke, lost his mind from many years ago. There are people in the shadows running America right now. I partially agree with you, Skilo. I'll say that. I partially agree with. There's probably other lingering, but I don't want to get into all that. LGBTQ is Democrat messaging. Let me speak to that because I feel like that said a lot regarding LGBTQ rights. As far also, when it comes to immigrants, it's all like, oh, they just want to give money to the immigrants. They give money to the Asian, a hate bill for the Asians, the LGBTQ. The thing is that us as Black people, let me just talk to the Black people real quick. Us as Black people, we have to have like those people, because who is the representative for the Black people? We really don't have one, right? And when you're not pushing for anything, you just literally just sit and wait until it's time for an election year to push for anything. Now, I'm not saying that we should hold our vote or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you still need to continue to push for what you want after the election. Just like I said, Kamala is going to run into the same issue that Obama did, where Obama had a few years where he had the House and the Senate, but then after that, he didn't have the House and the Senate no more. And it was all like, okay, we're back to square one, where, he wasn't able to get a lot pushed through. It all has to match. It all has to go in unison. Thank you. I appreciate that, conservative destroyer. And thank you for the $9.99. Right. That's the problem, Maria. After the election, it's all like, oh, okay, well, yeah. All right, we're done. No. And let me tell you something else, too. Local politics. I remember when, I was 18, I didn't even know, like, after the 2 years, you're supposed to go back again and vote and make sure. Like, when I was, so it'd be 18, then 22, so forth and so forth. I would just go back to 4 years. It wasn't until later on, I was all like, oh, no, used to vote. Well, technically, there's an election every year, but you're supposed to vote every 2 years or whatever, whenever you have an election. A lot of people don't know that because local politics really tells you what goes on. That's how you really make change with your local politics. Then everything else falls into play. Just like I told you guys, I have to figure out what's going on with my mayor? Am I going to vote to recall the mayor, or am I going to keep her there? It seemed like she might be doing some dirty stuff. I don't know if she's doing any dirty stuff. But I can tell you one thing. I don't know who the other option is if we go with a recall. Like, I don't know what's next. I have to look in to see, okay, well, who's going to be next if we get her out of here? It's a lot to think about. So again, her just trying to go off of what Joe Biden has done is great to implement that, but you need your own messaging, because one of the things besides her race that kind of gives me pause is her position has definitely changed. Where before she was more progressive, like Medicare for all, really with giving fund. Education for all. Like, that was like a big thing that she was going around saying. And now she kind of pulled back and was all like, oh, well, I'm just going to go more moderate that Joe Biden is going. And I feel like with the young people, they really want that extreme. Now, of course, she can't really say that right now because she's trying to run for the whole country. But we need a little teaser of what you are going to do. Yes, and Couture Bay, that goes back to my thing about black folks. It's always like during the election year, this is when they're all like, oh, we want to hold off our vote or whatnot, or we should get somebody who's more progressive in there and all that. No. We should have been working on that. We should have been doing that. You want to wait until now to say that? And especially towards like, listen, this is already unprecedented because Kamala just kind of, we was all like, okay, we going with Kamala. That kind of was a thing. So you place her in there, and now you want to be like, oh, well, we need to think about this and we need to do that. No. All that coalition, grassroots, and stuff like that, that needs to been done. You can't wait until the last minute to literally be all like, oh, well, we want to, make sure and hold out. No. You can't do that. Yeah, it really was. And like, this is why when it comes to those political pundits, even with me, I tell you guys, research it after I tell you guys and all that, research it. Don't believe everything I say. Research it yourself. I always tell you guys, it's hard to believe those political pundits because you don't. Remember, just like I'm giving you my own opinion, they give you their own opinion as well too. Yes. But DH, we actually have one, but I don't remember what the name is. I'll definitely research it after the show. But there is one for black people, like a black pack. Exactly. Always have a damn problem with no solution. Exactly. That's the thing. Have no problem with no solution. Because like then you see all these celebrities all like there was Akbar V. Y'all probably don't even know who that is. But Akbar V. Then you got Ray Shrimmer, and then you got all these people coming like, oh well, she's not really black. Eddie Griffin. Oh, she's not black. She's not this. And then you got the other side saying you're only voting for her because she's black. Listen, at this point, if like I said before, if you want to vote for her because she's black, you want to vote for her because she's black. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I honestly don't. Just like I said, you think the other folks don't vote for the white person? You think they don't say, I'm going to vote for that because that person's white? You don't think they do that? So in return, if you want to vote for her because she's black, because she's a woman, but some of y'all say she's not black. So if she's not black, then that shouldn't be an issue regarding her being black, right? Because y'all say she's not black, even though this is her daddy. That's her daddy right there, Donald Harris. Now her daddy is light-skinned, But they said because he got some Irish Indian in him, that she not black. And they said that, she's Asian. And she never claimed to be black. Again, if you go down the timeline, there's plenty of videos out there that you can research. She never said that she was not black. And literally, let's be honest, the only reason why people are questioning it is because she's mixed. Because I don't go around saying I'm black. Couture, do you go around saying you black? It's just known, right? So did she have to stand on a mountaintop and like scream it and yell it? No. She went to a HBCU. She's been a long time or a lifetime member of the Black Caucus, you know? So she's been around black people, went to a HBCU. Just like I said, she's from the Bay Area. So in the Bay Area, she would be considered black. They wouldn't be all like, oh, well, you mixed with this and all this. The way she looks, black. I'm sorry. Couture said I'm actually Asian. But yet Obama is mixed, as Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, so many different people are mixed. And I'm going to say something controversial too, and y'all ain't going to like me. But if your kids are mixed, I don't think you should be in this conversation about this black litmus test. I think it's crazy if you got a white wife or a white husband or somebody that's not black. If your household ain't black on black on black, I don't feel like you should comment about her blackness. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. If you don't have a black household, I don't think you should be talking about her blackness. That's how I feel. Everybody in my household, well, I'm not married, but everybody in my household, they black. They black like this, not like this. They black like this. So if I want to, do the black litmus test, then yeah, that would be my thing. But however, it all depends on her lived experience. If her lived experience has been of a black woman, that's how she identifies. That's how she identifies. But this whole, she's not black, she's Asian, she's Indian, she's this and that. I just feel like if you want to judge her on her policy, just like I said, I don't think her going with just what Joe Biden has done is feasible at all, at least for me. No, I want to see what she's actually going to implement herself. The job market was down this month. Now, it has been great for a while, but it's down. Also, the stock market, which they tried, is down today. But, technically, Trump had the lowest numbers. Now, most of this was done, well, not done, but it happened during 2020 of Coviana. But you see 18, 19, 18. So, yeah. So it happens. But anyway, we need to see what she's going to do as far as inflation. Inflation is always going to be an issue. That's always going to be an issue from now on. Because again, the Democrats don't have great messaging. They don't explain like, oh, well, inflation is up because the whole world is feeling it. The whole world is going through an inflation. Just like in the UK, they'll tell you like, yeah, we're going through inflation too. Most people don't talk about it. It's a world thing. But also, you got to talk about your solutions of what you're going to do. I don't think Trump saying that he's going to but he's going to put on extra tariffs on China and all that stuff when we get hella shit from China. I don't think that's going to help with inflation. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. Oh yeah, the election is definitely crazy, Maria. Skin color is a terrible classified of a race, as skin color is adaptive trait. I'll explain. Are dark skinned Indians the same race as Africans, but they black, right? I don't know if you get into black people are the real Indians. I don't know if you're getting into that conversation, but I'll just say, if your heritage is of African descent, then yes, you would be considered black. Whether you want to say you are biracial, you are mixed, but if you have some kind of heritage that comes from Africa, then I would consider you black or having black ancestry. But again, it's your lived experience. Yeah, and race is exactly. It's a social construct. And who created what? Who created race? White people. So they would be superior to everyone else. You know that image where you see the skulls with the Negroid and then the Asian and then the European and stuff like that. Yeah, they created all that. They created that whole concept because there are people of, you would say of Indian descent that are dark or darker than black people, but they're not considered black. So when it comes to skin color, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But again, what is her policies? That's all that really matters. But it's just crazy, this test that people want to put her through to figure out if she's black or not. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It's the policies. Like I said, if Trump was black, then maybe we could be like, oh, okay, like let's try to figure out whether or not she's black or not. I feel like the argument's stupid because it doesn't matter. He's not black, so why does it matter if she's black or not? And like I said, if people want to vote for her because she's black or she's a woman, that's their choice. Tell them why they shouldn't vote for her. Give them examples of policies that you believe would be better for Trump. But like I told you, a lot of these people who talk about her being a slut, her not being black, they're not even voting. They will tell you, I'm not voting. Or they'll be all like, I'm voting for third party. They're voting for Cornel West, or they're voting for JFK. Or RF. What is his name, y'all? The dude that said he put a bear caucus in Central Park. What is his damn name, y'all? RFK? Is that what is? Robert F. Kennedy? The Kennedy guy. I just feel like it's dumb. I listen, I can't even understand Robert, what he's saying. Now, I don't know if he have a condition, but I can't understand what he's saying. If I can barely understand Joe, I definitely can't understand Robert. So that's a no for me. Cornel West, he got a white wife. So if we're going to do a black litmus test, he got a white wife. So you shouldn't want to vote for him because he got a white wife, right? Y'all arguments just be stupid, y'all. Like that's dumb. So I feel like if we're gonna stretch this whole, listen, if her being a mixed race is really like an issue or a problem for you, then I need you to be the blackest of the blackest. And I want to see you with your hair out nappy. Now, I'm bald, so I can't grow no hair. It's going to be patches. But I need to see you proud, nappy, natural. I want to see your full blackness. If we're going to do a black litmus test, I need you in all black. And I want you ashy. Don't put on no lotion. I want you ashy, and I want you nappy. That's what I want if we're going to do this test. With a whole black family looking ashy and nappy. That's what I want. If that's a factor for you, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want the BDBs in the back of your neck. I want you to comb out them BDBs. I want them BDBs to be on the back of your neck. That's how nappy I want your head to be. That's what I want. That's what I want. We're going to do this test about how black she is. I want you nappy. I want you natural. I want you everything natural. Listen, I don't know if there's a 5C, but I want a 5C, a 7C, a 10C. I want it to be like that. I'm gonna be Dr. Umar for you. And even Dr. Umar, who still ain't built that school, got something to say about mixed people and all that. Like, dude, shut up. You still ain't bought that school. And you already said you don't vote. But you talk about you want to build this coalition of black people to do this and that. Again, the time to do that was a couple of years ago when you knew this election was coming up. You can't go last minute and be like, and mind you, I'm for that. If we want to all come together and have a team and be all like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get stuff done. If we're going to do that, I'm totally for that. But not 95 days out from the election. That's not smart. You know, that's not smart. Right. He's like a broken clock, yeah. I mean, because he do be right sometimes. You know, I ain't gonna lie. He does be he do be right, but most of the time I'm like, shut up. Ain't nobody need to hear you. But of course. Yeah, that is very low. The whole she's a slut and all that stuff. But yet she's running against a man with multiple baby mamas, who cheated on all his wives, and that was found liable of SA. So, do we really want to go with the whole slut thing on Kamala? And I can only count 3 of her partners, by the way. There's her current husband. There was Willie Brown. I'm sorry, not Willie Mays. Willie Brown. I'm sorry. Apologize. Willie Brown, and then Montel Williams. Montel Williams, Willie Brown, and then her current husband. I don't know too many bodies on her. Now, if they had hella men that she was with and they could pull up hella bodies on her and stuff like that, okay, I would get that. But I don't see that. I don't see that she got hella bodies on her like that. So I don't even think that should even be in a conversation. And again, if we're going to talk about women's rights and all that stuff, then we have to say that aren't women allowed to make choices with their body? So the argument doesn't work. That's what I'm saying, basically. Nothing is low to say to Kamala. Trump has it all thrown at him. Here, and the thing is, I'm not saying that she's a victim. But again, like her history, sleeping with everybody, like what does that have to do? Even if it's true, what does that have to do with anything? That has nothing to do with any kind of policy that she's going to make. Yeah, that was creepy. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That doesn't concern me. Her throwing innocent black. Again, it was only 3% of the people that she quote unquote put in jail. It was only 3% of them were black, and it wasn't even thousands of people either. Again, that's more information, misinformation that people put out there. You can look it up. Just like she was against marijuana or something like that, and um, not knowing that she actually had programs to help nonviolent offenders. Like a lot of people don't know that. And when she was in the Senate, she was a champion for prison reform. That First Step Act that got passed, don't forget they were trying to get that passed with Obama, but the Republicans said no. But then Trump got into office, they were able to kind of come up with some resolution. Again, the Democrats always they always cave in, but they ended up caving in, and then they passed it underneath Trump, and that's where you got the First Step Act. That was something that they were trying to do with Obama. That's been in there. Just like infrastructure. Infrastructure was a thing that Trump was trying to do as well too. But then you see, then Biden ended up getting it passed. So yeah, it definitely goes both ways. Yes, Congress, judicial, right. Just like one of the big things for me is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is way too conservative. Um, you got them getting rid of different programs, women's rights. Yeah, they're overturning everything. I do believe states should have rights, but to a certain degree. Senio Queen said it was only a few people, 3% was only a handful of people who continued to break the law. Yes. If they were guilty, should, yeah. And that's the thing too. In because she has the marquee of her being a cop, right? Oh, she's the cop and she's law and order. But then they say she's too soft on crime and that there's going to be more crime if she gets into office. So it's like the contradiction of what they're saying. And another thing about her being AG and stuff like that, the attorney general, I have to see her record compared to her white counterparts. That's one thing that nobody has ever had a chart of to actually show, like, okay, this is how many people her white counterparts locked up, and then this is how many people, like, it's just a thing that's literally said. Because another thing, something that I don't know, how many black attorney generals have there been? Is she one of the only few? You know? Because there's also another thing too, and I kind of fall victim and say this too, like, oh, it always seems like the black politicians are corrupt. Well, that's not true. There's not a lot of them in office, but when one gets in the news, of course, we're going to talk about it. Just like the Tiffany lady, what's her name? Is her name Tiffany Montgomery? She's like a mayor in Illinois, and she got all these financial crimes and stuff like that. What is that? I know her name is Tiffany, but I don't know her last name. And I don't know what. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all seen a picture of her. Henyard. That's who she is, Henyard. Dalton, Illinois. And she been charging up all that money on them credit cards. Been not. Yo, she is off the hook. We need to do a video on her. We definitely need to do a video on her. She is off the hook. But yeah, she's black and she's one of those that you look at it and you're like, how is this lady in office? Like, really? Yeah, she a trip. Y'all need to look her up. Like I said, we'll do a video on her. We will do a video on her because she is something else. Yeah, you guys are right. Hinyard. Most of our civil liberties are protected through federal legislation and not through state. Yes, that's the important thing. Thank you, Kay, for bringing that up. You have to have that federal legislation, because if you don't, this is how things get overturned or thrown out. What do we think about the other candidates? Like I said, with RFK and Cornel West, I do not feel comfortable giving my vote to them at this time. No. Robert F. Kennedy seems like he just wants to run because he got that Kennedy name. And then remember he released that phone call with Trump and Trump offered him a job in his administration? You just seem like a plant. And then with Cornel West, he's very progressive. But I don't think anybody believes in him. If he actually had like people rallying behind him, then maybe I'll hop on that train. But I don't even think he's going to be in all the ballots. I don't think he's even going to be in all the ballots. So it's kind of like, yeah. Robert, he's going to be on the ballots. Yeah. That was, I don't know if he made up that story because they're also saying that he can be charged. I'm all like, I don't even know if he made up that whole bear story. But it's the stupidest shit ever. Like, why would you even? And he was talking to Roseanne Barr, and you know she 2 chips short from a cookie. Like that lady is wonky as hell. Right, and we definitely should have had and we definitely should have had the Joe Biden primary because now we're in this situation. But I will say I don't think they ever really have primaries when there's the sitting president of an actual party. They usually all kind of shun them out. Just like when Trump went for re-election in 2020, there were a couple of people that ran against him, but they didn't make no noise. They were all kind of shunned. How did Black people lose rights after Reconstruction? I don't think they necessarily lost rights. Were they given opportunities to succeed? Some were and some weren't. Yeah, but on the except more like state legislation, like redlining. Redlining is a big thing as well too. Um, but as far as like federally, no, there wasn't any kind of law that prevented. But at the same token, if someone doesn't offer you a job or somebody doesn't give you a loan to get a house or let you buy in a certain neighborhood, and you got to stay in the hood, then you are going to be affected. Because just like when, say for example, where I was born in Oakland, it's still majority white, but it was a white town, right? Then all these coloreds start coming over from the south, and then they all like, oh, what y'all doing here? And so they had to create areas or move to areas that were more expensive to get away from the colored folks. And that's everywhere, but I can only give you an example from where I was born. There's a whole city by the name of Piedmont in Oakland. Y'all probably never even heard of it, but it's a whole city, Piedmont. It's literally in Oakland, but it's its own thing. They got their own police department, fire department. They got their own thing. That was invented because we ain't gonna be down here with you colors over here. We gonna go up in the hills, and then and I'm being funny when I say colors, but I mean that's what they said back in the day. We gonna go up in the hills and be safe and leave y'all down here in poor conditions, poor neighborhoods, all the drugs let y'all, each other and all that. And that's everywhere, y'all. That's everywhere. But I can only give you an example where I am. And I'm pretty sure if y'all do y'all research, Black people just don't want to live in the ghetto. Like, who wants to live in a impoverished area? Everybody wants to succeed, right? Who wants to live there? Well, I mean, because of gentrification, everything it's very popular to live in the hood now because of gentrification, right? It's a different topic for a different day. These people weren't able to move out these neighborhoods or even buy homes or get loans. You talk about Reconstruction. Oh, and I'm not picking on you either. I'm just saying Reconstruction. Remember Wells Fargo got in trouble because they were denying Black people 2 things. They were denying Black people, or if they would get you, they were like predatory loans where they would double the interest rate on your home, and then you have to pay more money. This was the whole cause of the collapse. Remember? And it just didn't affect Black people, but a lot of Black people suffer from that. That's why home ownership for Black people are down. A lot of people lost their home, just not Black people, but that's one of the reasons. But the issue with getting loans and being able to buy homes in certain areas, there's an area in Sacramento, for example. It still had in their laws for the HOA that Black people could not live in that neighborhood. Mind you, there's black people living in that neighborhood. It was somewhere in Sacramento. But there's still black people living in the neighborhood, but they just never changed that rule or that law. It was in there. So, a lot of people think, oh, only the South was racist. No. It was that in California. It's that in Illinois. It's that in New York. Just like upstate New York is way different than, New York City, Manhattan, all the boroughs and stuff like that. It's like night and day. Like I remember I was on Snapchat and there's a lady who lives in upstate New York. I forgot where it is, but they're all country and redneck and they're going like, y'all. And you think they in the South. Like they are really, 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 really like country, redneck. Like it is so crazy. And I've never been to New York in general, but just to see the contrast of the way they live in, the northern part of New York, I'm like, oh my God. And my best friend who is black used to live in Buffalo, and that's more in the northern, like Buffalo, New York. And Buffalo, New York is like a whole like it's still like the inner city and stuff like that, but they also have suburbs where just the white folks live in the suburbs and then other folks live, in the bad part. So it's a lot of discrimination that you see. But yeah, it was crazy to me. And the lady was super cool too. She like I didn't get a bad vibe from her. She was super cool, but she lived in the northern part, and it was like really redneck, really country. You're like, damn, like that's how they get down in New York. Upstate is way different than the boroughs and all that shit. Just like California. The Central Valley, it's country. Now, necessarily people don't have country accents and stuff like that, but the Central Valley where I used to live, yeah, it's very rural, as you would say. Suburbs, but very rural. A lot of agriculture, a lot of our agriculture, I think agriculture is like a big money maker in California. I forgot what the percentage is, but it's big. We have a lot of farmland here. People just think about, oh, the tech. No, a lot of farming. I think farming actually makes most of our money compared to agriculture, makes more of our money than like the tech stuff. Don't quote me on that. Look that up. Again, don't believe everything I say. Look it up. You can reduce transportation costs to the city with gentrification. I lived in Cabrini. Is it Cabrini Green? Did I say that right? Good time area, and that was the fastest growing area in Chirac. Oh, okay. You used to live in Chicago. Okay, okay. I know you used to live in France and everything like that, right, Kay? Mm. Yep, yep. Every state had backwoods and rural areas, right, right. But it was just like a contrast, though, for me, conservative destroyer. I was like, whoa, like what the hell is going on? Also, when you want to cut off access, the fastest way to do it is by shutting down transportation. Is yeah, and a lot of people don't know. Did y'all know that freeways are racist? I don't know if that's the proper term, but freeways are racist. So there's a map. I'm gonna show you guys one day, right? There's a map of Oakland where I was born, and they show Oakland before the freeways, and then they show Oakland after the freeways. And guess what? All the businesses and the homes that they tore down to build those freeways. Guess who was affected by it? I'll give you 10 seconds. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. The black ones. That's what those are affected. Like, yeah, they was all like, because if you go to like the suburbs or the nice areas, they don't have freeways going through, their cities and stuff like that, right? They don't have that. The freeways, they go around. They go around. They don't have freeways going up and down in the city. Now, it's convenient. Of course, it's convenient. But where did they build that convenience at? In the black neighborhoods. A lot of people don't know that. Like, yeah, you don't have a choice on whether or not we're going to take your home. No, we're going to take it. It is what it is. Yes, it was meant to divide black community. Exactly. That's a part of it as well, too. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that stuff, you know? It does still affect us today, believe it or not. And yes, I wholeheartedly believe that you can pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you can work hard and stuff like that. But not everybody started out with something. I did come from a middle class family, but it wasn't always middle class. My dad worked his ass off, and luckily he was able to retire before 60. You know, my dad literally worked his ass off, but not everybody has that opportunity. Not everybody has it like that. And what helped me kind of realize that too? I realized it before, but YouTube, I realized I was like, oh, this is why these people act that way because they never had a solid foundation. And some of these people on YouTube are looking for somewhere to fit in and somewhere to feel a part of a community. It's some deep shit if we really get into it why these people on YouTube are so crazy. That's a part of it. That's where you get like these little YouTube cults and shit like that. It's wild thinking about it. But I know we got totally sidetracked. Once I go on a tangent, I just start talking and stuff like that. But, I just want to let you know that that whole conversation about her being black or not. And also, too, my thing is like, whether or not, like, black people want to say is she black or not, don't be encouraging Trump to say no shit like that. How dare you let this man say that shit? Just like when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Now, did I think it? Yeah, I definitely thought it. But that's not his place to say that. No old white man to be all like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That's not his job to say that. Just like it's not Trump to say, oh, well, she turned black. Get out of here with that. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Thank you to Conservative Destroyer. Thank you for the $9.99. We appreciate you. Anybody who cashed that PayPal, Venmo, I'll thank you later. I appreciate y'all. I always love doing these political conversations. We're probably going to be back early in the morning because I want to see if Josh Shapiro is going to be the VP pick. Right, Conservative Destroyer. We all knew what he meant. But I will say this. I love doing these political discussions, and I appreciate like we can still get a good sized crowd, like if it's something educational, rather than me get on here and act wild and stupid. Like I'm happy that I can have these discussions. And the crazy part is like a lot of people are like, AT2, you helped me realize things, you really educated me. But some of you in the chat, like you guys have educated me as well, and I appreciate it. Please leave any comments underneath the chat. If there's any questions or any clarification that you guys want. I know someone had asked me and they DM'd me, I forgot who it was, but for me to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger being our governor and then versus, why can I think of Gavin Newsom? So yeah, that's definitely a great discussion for a video as well too. But I love y'all. Be safe. We out of here, y'all. Deuces, everybody. Let me play my favorite commercial.
Kamala Harris, why is she in my DM? Huh? She stay in my fucking DM. Oh, y'all be thinking I'm playing. I'm not playing. Kamala Harris. She in my DM, bitch.